Hey, it's Marshall John here. Just want to give you a few quick tips on doing maple syrup on the cheap. First, we're going to start with a cleaned out milk jug, and just take a knife and cut a little hole straight in there across the top, and then grab your scissors right here, and about a 1-inch hole is what we're looking for. So cut that hole right around there. There you go. There's your first maple syrup bucket right there. So here's the spile we're using, the tap that we're using. And for me, I use a 3/8 inch drill bit to drill my hole. And 7/16 would work. Some of them actually take a little bit smaller hole, so you just have to figure out what works for the taps you got. And also I have marked the depth that I want on my drill bit. So recommended is 2 inches, 2.5 inches, something like that. So I just marked it off with some masking tape so that I can go the same depth every single time. So here's our maple tree right here. We're just gonna put our hole in right there. You can go level or a little bit below level, a little bit going up. You see the sap flowing right there already. Then you got your spile right there. Take a hammer, tap it in. Nice and snug. Sap is flowing. A little sawdust coming out that first little bit. Clean that off. And then got our jug right there. So that's just gonna fit right over there. Push it in, and it'll set down on top of that thing. Our lid on, and we're set to go. Go to collect it, just lift it up, pull it off, stick it over your bucket, and undo the top lid there, pour it out both sides. It's empty. Got a little frozen last night, that'll thaw out. Then stick it right back on. Simple strainer setup right here, so just pour that right into that strainer. Takes out the bark, little things like that get in there, any big chunks anyway. We'll strain it again before we finish it off on the stove. There you have it. Here's my amazing boiling operation. So 2 rows of cinder blocks, and yeah, you can just wood going, fire going in there. 2 kettles, I think a 6-gallon and an 8-gallon going on top of there with an old stove grate, and that works just fine. Just poured some more sap in there so it cooled down. It was a lot more steam coming off a minute ago, and usually warm it up in one and then get it more concentrated in the other one. So, but it's pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty cost effective. It's not very efficient for wood consumption and the use of the heat, but since the wood is free, and it's just my time, it works for me. Evaporator would be much better, but that's a lot more expensive than 2 buckets. When you're ready to finish it off, take a flour sack towel and fold it in half and in half again. Put it over a colander and pour the boiled down sap through it into a stock pot. Let it finish boiling down on your stove. At this point, a candy thermometer is really helpful. Your syrup is done when the thermometer is at 219 or 220 degrees. To can your syrup, wash some canning jars and fill them with hot water. Pour out the water right before pouring in the syrup. Put on the lid, tighten down the ring, and turn the jar upside down and set it on the counter. This should seal the lid without using a canner. All that's left to do at this point is whip up some pancakes. If you give this a try, let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.